You know, or Kanye album. And the reason why I say that is because, Kanye, no, he has children now. Kanye is not just, Gold Digger Records or, Runaway or, you know, and I'm gonna skim through some of the records, man, that I really, really enjoy, man. And it's not gonna be in a certain order. I'm just gonna really tell you, which songs I've really, really been enjoying out of this 7-song series that he put together, man. And the production was really good. Kanye definitely, he definitely anchored this and had great support from, obviously Mike Dean, who's been phenomenal in this man's career. Mike Dean has been from day one engineering, um, mixing, mastering these albums, and from Life of Pablo to, I mean, in how can I say it? Like when he did Dark Twisted, that was like to me, like, oh shit, this guy Mike Dean is he's the man. Like he definitely knows sonics, he knows about composing and arranging music. And it really shows more in this album more than ever. Because it's such a short record, but you keep hearing it. And the one thing I really do enjoy is if people will just hear it is when you hear the records and if you press like repeat, it loops perfectly. And the transitions go in very well. And the arranging and sequences of these albums is very good. Um, I'm gonna start with Violent Crimes, man. Yo, man, like it's being a dad. Like I'm a father of my son, Gustavo, and it's being a father, man, just really changed my life. It's really, really like harnessed me into be like a better man and understanding me that it's not about me, it's about my son now. And for him to talk about his daughter like that, his daughter is, I think, 5 years old at this point, and for him to think about so much in advance, and for him to be like, oh, whatever I did wrong, karma wise, please don't, whatever I did wrong to women, I objectified women versus them being the queens, the earths that they are. Please don't let her. And I think one of the lines he said that really, really got to me was, I wish she has my body versus her mom's body. Then he was like, it was like, wow, he doesn't want his little girl to grow up. He wants his little girl to be a little girl. And it was like, don't do Pilates, don't do yoga, worry about, the piano and um, worry about the piano and do karate, like, you know, be like this beautiful musician, but also like, you touch me, I'm gonna bust your ass, and I really, really love this record. I sent this record to my sisters and I said, please hear this record because they have daughters and it just really touched my heart, like being like having, my mother, my father, and then my three sisters. I was always around a lot of women. And I really, really love this record. I think this is one of my really top favorite records because, like I said, being a parent and seeing your child grow up, like, very soon, North is gonna be, she's gonna be a teenager, and Kanye is kind of saying he's not ready for that. He's not ready to see his little girl grow up, and that's really for me like very heartwarming that he's even thinking that ahead of time. Um, Another record that I also really love, and this is what I'm trying to say about the maturity level of Kanye. Um, No Mistakes. And the rhyme that really touched me was he was saying that uh, we're about to lose it all. Like he's bugging out, he's doing all this stuff, he's saying these real crazy statements, and Kim is probably calling him like, "Yo, we're losing endorsements," and he's like, if you're like my opinion, what I got from it is like if you think that is more important than me, me as a human being, then you need to just leave. You need to leave and let me just be who I am. But she's like, no, I love you. It's not about that. It's just please just watch what you're saying. Like it's more than that. And like he's really telling his story. Like yo, he's really telling him like him being a married man, like and what it is to be married. And to really have people that just love you for you, not because of the fame, not because of what you could bring to them or what you can get from them, but just to be like, yo, I love you for you. And I'm riding for you. It doesn't matter what you do, I'm gonna ride for you. That was great, man. Because me, being in a relationship, having a wife, it's hard, man. It's hard to have a wife, man, especially to be in the music industry and you're always being criticized. People are always putting you under that magnifying glass. And man, to me, like these are like my top two records, man. I'm as like a person who's a father, a person who's married and really love their wives. It touched me, like, and for real, like going back to violent crimes, like I heard it twice and I was like, oh, he's talking about his daughter. And then it's like, no mistakes. Oh shoot, he's talking about his wife. He's talking about like, yo, love me for me. And that was dope. That was really dope. Ghost Town. I mean, when I first heard Ghost Town, this is before the album came out. I was like, I tweeted it and I put it on Instagram. It gave me like those Queen, like the Queen, like Freddie Mercury vibes, the frequencies, the sonics. It was huge. It was the stadium, and Cuddy, man, I might get sacrificed for this one, but I'm definitely gonna say it definitely outdid Father Stretch My Hand. Like it was just so raw. And then Mike Dean comes in with those guitars, man, and it's like that's that stadium stuff, man. That's that real next level going to make it happen. Like Mike Dean really showed out on this album. Really showed out on this album, man. And to hear him on those guitars, like those big drums, and man, it was a great record, man. And Cuddy, man, always comes through, man, and just kills it. You know, yikes, whew, man. I mean, and Kanye West, Mike Dean, Apex Martin, man, like it was just like I said. What I'm saying, like the loops, it loops very well. It's an amazing record, man. Like he snapped on that, man. It was just like, and he just went in, and the song was just like so great. It was just kept going, and then he started talking about that he has he's bipolar, and he's saying, yo, this is not a disease. This is my superhero power. Like I've been doing this for a minute, and yo, let me see what I can do with it. And it's great that he's embracing that, who he is more than ever. Yikes was crazy. He snapped on that. I'm telling you, he really went another level. You know, wouldn't leave. It's cool. It's really like a really cool cut. He has like the samples coming in and out, and like I said, man, Kanye, he really went different on this record too. I really like how he has like certain samples in it, and like back in the days, you put a certain sample just to kind of give the concept of it, and that was really dope. Old Mine, Jeremiah, he killed that. It's really good. Ty Dolla Sign, Ty Dolla Sign. on this album was huge, very instrumental. Uh, like him just doing the ad libs, the hooks, and it was dope to have to see him what doing these does. And you know, I thought about killing you, man. I think everyone has these thoughts, man. Like for real, like just get so mad of the world and the society that we live in. And yeah, man, like Kanye West, man. Um, Kanye West to me is one of my favorite artists because I always related with him. I always relate with Kanye, from college dropout, to late registration, to graduation, to 808 and Heartbreaks, to Dark Twisted, Yeezus, Life of Pablo, and this new Ye album, man. I think a lot of people, even the people who are at the actual, listening session, a lot of people counted him out. A lot of people counted him out. And I think Kanye really, really showed people that, look, man, you might not understand what I'm trying to say or convey to you, but this album really showed people Kanye's maturity, man. His maturity on this album was on another level. And I really felt him. Like I think this might sound weird, but 808 and Heartbreaks is an album I really felt from him because my father passed away. And, it's coming, my father's anniversary is coming up in October. He's been dead for 10 years. And Kanye's mom passed away. And I feel that this album, I get that vibe from him. I'm feeling that vibe again. Like, wow, Kanye, you're really tapping into your soul and making this album. Yo, man, I really, really enjoyed this album. Like, I've been hearing it. I heard a few tracks before it came out. But man, I'm telling you, please, man, like listen to Kanye's album. It's really up there, man, with for me, like it's really up there with Dark Twisted and College Dropout because this is more of a growth album to me. You've seen Kanye really putting out his personal business, and like I said, man, so much great lines, like so many great lines. Like he said, I made TMZ like what do you say? I made TMZ like Smack DVD. If you know what Smack DVD is, it was just like it's a New York City company that did these DVDs and they had all the new like hip hop artists and it was like freestyle battles, but it was just so much more. It was like, the streets. And he kind of like saying, like, look, I made something that I got something into the streets, which was cool. But more than anything else, this album's like I think is a masterpiece, man. It's a classic. It's a classic album. It's definitely a very heartfelt album, and I think people need to really listen to it, sit down, marinate. And like I said, to me, like my two favorite records is No Mistakes and Violent Crimes. Because like as a father and as a husband, I understand the pressures of raising a family, being on tour or going to the studio or not being around your family. It's hard, man. It's not an easy task, because you have to do so much. And yeah, man, everyone please go support the new Kanye album. Yay. Mike Dean killed it. This guy co-executive produced the album. The Sonics is on a whole other level, and I just want everyone to really like enjoy it, man, because it's a different vibe, man. It's very soulful as well. And yeah, please, man, everyone, just please listen to this album. If you're a mother or a father, listen to those two tracks, and I think you might be like, wow, Kanye's is a man now. He's not just being very flamboyant and boisterous. You know, he was saying like 100,000 on the wrist. I'd rather buy a home. He's not talking about nothing crazy. And I really like this album, man. Like it's really good. You know, he really, really like he really like goes crazy on it. So yeah, man. I give this album a perfect 10, man. It's a short album, but it gets to the point. He answers all the questions everyone been asking. And yeah, man, it's enjoyable, you know. And like I said, this is from 808 and Heartbreaks. This is one of the most relatable albums to me. And all his albums are really good, but this one I really enjoy. So yeah, you guys enjoy it. Listen to it, leave a comment, like it, share it, and yeah, I'll speak to you then. Your boy Distro Lord, and I'm out.